Do you remember back in episode 1 when I spoke about the Scourge? The night when Elder Lyons and his knights moved through the pit, killing almost everyone in sight. While the Scribes did record that there was one casualty, Initiate Ashur, was lost and suspected killed when a building collapsed on him. But now Elder Lyons has heard that Ashur not only survived, but has fashioned himself as Lord of the Pitt and now leads the people there. Elder Lyons must know the truth about this, and so that will be the aim of this episode. Now, the route I've taken to conquer the pit is to go via the Church of Rocky, and I started that justification towards the end of episode 3. I've chosen this route because the Church of Rocky will let me have 2 fronts on which to invade the pit, whereas Johnstown will only allow me 1. These water crossings here are notoriously difficult to crack, and I'm hoping that by taking 2/3 of their territory, it'll give me enough to either conquer the pit, or if that doesn't work, it'll give me 2 avenues of which to cross the water crossing into Togtown. Alright, with Champions of Virtue finished, this now gives me a chance to explain the refined warfare doctrine. So there are 4 possible paths you can take when completing this doctrine. I have not added them up in those 4 paths. Instead, I'm going to detail what are the general ones you'll always get, and then show what the specifics of each branch does and when I suggest you would use them. So then, general stats that you'll always get is that your army, so that will be every type of unit you have, doesn't matter if it's infantry, militia, enforcer, light or heavy special forces, will get a boost to soft attack of 5%, hard attack 5%, an extra 10 organization, as well as the organization regen of plus 15%. Maximum speed will be increased by 10% and defense by 5%. Now, some specific things that will only affect your infantry is you'll get extra 12% breakthrough. Then your heavy special forces will also get extra breakthrough of 10%, 8% to extra soft attack, and 8% to extra hard attack. This unfortunately does come at a cost of an increased minimum training level of 15%. Your recruitable population goes by 10%, and an extra 20% is added onto your training time. Then for flexibility of movement, your army, so again that's everybody, will get extra 10% breakthrough and maximum speed, and will also get a reduction of organizational loss reduction moving of minus 20%. What this means is, as your army advances and they're ready for their next battle, they will be 20% closer to being ready to fight. And this tree will also give you an extra 20% special forces capacity. Flexibility of command will give your fighting support units an extra 15% hard and soft attack, and your non-combat support units an organization of plus 15 and a reliability of plus 2%. Your army recovery rate will also go up by 0.05. You'll get 20% less experience loss, soldier loss, and plus 4 to your reinforce rate. So now, when would you choose which one to do? Flexibility of movement is better when you have simpler army templates with less support units, and you want to attack and break through enemy lines at the highest speed you possibly can. Flexibility of command is more useful when you have more complicated army templates with more support units, as it will give things like your anti-tank and your dogs and your support fire and demo teams increased stats, and your non-combat like your logistics and your chems increased reliability and organization. So now I have included walking tanks in the general stats. So now I'm going to move on to Purity. So Purity will give your army an extra 15% breakthrough, a massive 20% extra soft attack and 10% hard attack. Your garrisons will suffer 10% less damage. You'll get 20% extra air superiority, plus 20 to your special forces capacity. Your paratrooper organization factor goes up by 10%, and your supply grace for special forces gets increased by 24 hours. And your resistance growth speed in your captured countries is down by half, minus 50%. This does come at a cost of minus 10% to your recruitable population, minus 20% to your compliance growth speed, and minus 10% to your non-core manpower. Now for principle, your entire army will get an extra 20% reconnaissance, plus 10% hardness, plus 5% to soft attack, hard attack, and air attack. Your power armor support units will also get an increased 5% soft and hard attack. Your infantry specifically will get, again, 5% soft and hard attack, an extra 10 to the organization, and a recovery rate increase of 0.05. And then your heavy special forces will also get 5% to their soft attack, hard attack, organization, and defense, and an increased recovery rate of 0.1. Your recruitment will also go up by 10%, as well as your planning speed by 10%, and your special forces capacity by 20%, sorry, plus 20, but your recruitable population will go down by 10%. So, when would you use each one? Purity is more useful, again, when you are attacking larger nations at higher speed. You could set your army units up so that you'd have a dedicated army with just power armor in it that you would then use as a breakthrough, and then an entire army line of having just infantry to cover up the gaps. This will also allow you to use your transport aircraft, if you have them, to drop your special forces on victory points to help you attack. More useful for larger wars against larger countries. Principle is for more conventional warfare, where you can go up against both larger and smaller nations, where you have your power armor mixed in with your normal units, and it'll allow you to advance at a more steady rate. Now, the question I've often seen is, do you have to go left, left, right, right, or can you mix them as I have done here? The answer to that very simply is no. It all depends on what nation you are playing, what enemies you're going up against, and more importantly, how you want to play. So if you would like to have very fancy templates, but advance quickly across someone like Kaiser's Legion or the NCR, then I would recommend flexibility of command with Purity. But at the same tone, you could have very complicated templates and move in a more logical fashion, and then Principle would work best for you. It all depends on what you like to do. With that done, I'm now going to use this empty research slot to research my longboat hull, so I can increase the different types of ships that I am using for my navy. Don't really have to have a sophisticated navy for this East Coast playthrough, but I always enjoy having a navy to work with. Alright, my longboat hull is finished researching. That is my favorite type of ship, the medium. Now I'm going to move on to getting lightweight metals so I can get them increase CAS, and I am going to very quickly create a design to use on my ships using the naval experience that I have. Oh, that's all I can do really. What a pity. Okay, I'll research some modules as soon as I can. And now let me get to building them as fast as I can. I'll take that design and I'm going to edit my ship composition, medium ship, and I want, let's start off with 5 in each. I should actually save that. Patrol squadron, medium ship, gotta choose the symbol, 5, and save, because that means my other squadron, I can apply the same one to them as well. Sorted. One thing I want to mention is I have started my justification on the pit. No, wrong one. It has been running for 74 days and will be ready in the 27th of April. I should have defeated the Church of Rocky by then. I'm trying to speed things up by having multiple justifications at the same time, but the game obviously adds extra time. For example, if I wanted to make a justification against Johnstown, that one is going to take me 515 days. So fortunately I cannot go completely overboard and justify on everybody. Alright, the Church of Rocky's justification is finished, so let me take them down so I can have my war against the pit. Alright, this is the perfect opportunity for me to actually explain the difference between a battle plan and micromanagement. So for a battle plan, I would set up a front line and then a offensive line, and the AI would then work out how it would cross that border. You can see the tiles changing from red to green. That is the AI's plan of how it's going to advance. So because of this very narrow stretch, 2nd Battalion hasn't been able to push through yet, but 1st Battalion is crushing these guys here on the east, and this is a perfect chance for me to do some micromanagement. So micromanagement is where you, as the actual player, decides manually where you want them to go. So instead of the AI pushing the direction they want, I'm going to take these 5 power armor units and I'm going to manually tell them to attack across this river crossing and into roaring canyons. So let's see how that goes. Now obviously this means that these 5 units are no longer part of this offensive line, but once they have gotten to this point, they will revert back to AI control and go back, as you can see here. So to make sure that they stay here, I could take my infantry, which are my more defensive side units, but instead I'm going to take these 5 and actually put them here to make sure I don't lose this ground that I've gained. And once Crimson Town has been conquered, the Church of the Rocky should capitulate. So now they're staying there, the AI are still pushing them, and the same is happening here. Now if I want to do micromanagement again, I can take these 2 here, which are at the rear doing nothing, and I can manually attack them. So now these units here on this front line will now be being attacked by in a flanking action, which, there we go. Okay, some point capitulation done. Nice amount of supply trucks and basic range of weaponry. take everything, no navy, and I'm now going to prepare to take on the pit, and I will start my justification against whoever is cheapest. So it's 230. You can see with one ward down it's gone down by half, and this one here, so it's 230, this is 260. So we're going to stick with a justification against Johnstown. Okay, it's now time to see what is happening in the pit. Now, I've been a bit brave with my battle plan for 1st Battalion, and that I've told them to advance straight here through the pit and over the water crossing into the next territory, into Johnstown. I hope it works, but there's only one way to actually find out if I've been brave or stupid. So, do have a good amount of units on their fronts, but no power armor, and even though they've got mechanized, they have no tanks. So I'm going to try use that to my advantage. Alright, 2nd Battalion is doing better than last time, but I really need to get some breakthrough units in there, but I have a plan for that. The Battleplans, I've got 6 units here encircled, and there they start to pop off. So this is going pretty damn well so far. Okay, I have changed 2nd Battalion's order from a normal advance to a breakthrough. I'm hoping they will push straight across here while they have the advantage to Johnstown. I'm really praying to myself here that this water crossing doesn't turn into a massive slog across the river, because I have up until August until my justification against Johnstown is finished, and that is my mobile assault weaponry done. That is absolutely brilliant. So I have some basic tanks and the units I want to use. So next, common energy weapon, so I can finally upgrade from my basic and get the Van Graaf addition of piercing and heart attack onto it. That'll be a good upgrade for my infantry. And then to try and help 2nd Battalion here, and because these power armors are just standing here doing nothing, I'm going to reassign them to 2nd Battalion, and hopefully that will help turn the scales in my favor. And would you look at that, almost instantly as soon as they join the battle, instant advantage. Now I just got to hope that they can push across this river and get into Johnstown. Okay, and they've done it. They've taken both the pit and the train yard. Now I am, oh yeah, I've got to get that last victory point, another way around it, but they are losing men by the bucket load. They've lost about 10 times more than I have. Now I just got to hope that they can push across this river and get it. I've got just over a month to go. Alright, this is turning into a stalemate, so I'm going to take Elder Lyons, set up an armor group order, and assign 1st Battalion to it, because that justification will be ready in about 2 weeks. And even though I might not use it to attack straight away, I want them to at least prepare for it. I know I will eventually win this out because I have checked, and the pit is down to 0 manpower. So I just need to keep on whittling away at their numbers, and eventually they will simply not have the manpower to man this water crossing, and I can get myself across it. I am going to keep my power armor attached there. Just want to see, there's no weak spots here, so I might actually be able to push with just 1st Battalion here. I wonder. Alright, my justification is ready against Johnstown, but I am not. I've got until the 9th of October until that justification runs out. So I'm going to hang on to middle of September maybe, and this is what I'm hoping for. Some more units that I can add on to try thicken up my lines. Alright, it's the 15th of September. I am going to change to getting the biplane fighters. Okay, and I'm going to set up my new tank division. Now the one I like to use has 3 tanks, and then 2 normal motorized infantry, 1 mobile fire team, and 1 mobile demolitions. So I can remove these. Nice 20 with, so it still fits in nicely with everybody. I'm not adding any support companies on. That will lower my already quite low organization. Perhaps I should actually change that up, see if it goes up. How much does it affect my breakthrough? Okay, 54. So I'm going to put on mobile fire teams. Keep it as is. I'll rely on my tanks for my piercing, which is already quite good. And this would be my, my armor division. I'll spell it the American way for all of you, and make the symbol the tank and elite. So I have been producing some tanks on the side. So I will just call out by the division, and they can start recruiting themselves. I'll put them into 2nd Battalion, and it's time for me. I'm tired of sitting watching this go up and down. I'm going to take my chance and declare war on Johnson as well. So let's see how this goes. Alright, my war against the pit is still dragging on. There are some close moments, and then it drops down to below 40 as they reinforce. My gut is telling me it's just a matter of time. So until then, I'm not going to waste any time, and I am going to go after, this is Harrisburg Bandits. So, declaration of war, and send in 1st Battalion. With their power armor, they seem more than capable of taking on anyone except for the pit. By far more stronger than anyone I've faced so far, including the much loved Enclave. So this should be a march to a quick victory here. And I wish it was the same thing over there. The only thing that's helping them out is this water crossing that's giving the negative. Yeah, this is going good. And I know once I cross this river, all I need to do is reinforce to have more manpower on the line so they don't get overstretched, and the pit will fall as well. Doesn't matter how many they have, because I know they are seriously and utterly buggered. But back to Harrisburg. Okay, that's one down. Just the burning bucks left. And once I have that victory point, it'll be time to move on to the next one. There we go. Oh, they took it back. Okay, burning bucks taken. Nice laser weaponry. No navy, obviously it's landlocked. And let's move 1st Battalion across the Commonwealth and start my declaration on Onionburg. What a very smelly name. Okay, it is April. I've been fighting this war for over a year, I reckon, against the Pitt. I don't like doing this while I'm fighting, but I've decided to add on power armor support just to give them all a little extra boost that they need. They should update within an hour, and my first set of tanks are ready to go. Let's see if they can also help break the line. Okay, the war rages on. I am going to tell Elder Lyons to use makeshift bridges again to try cross this freaking river into Johnstown, and while they're doing that, let me take on Onionburg, which again, just like as before, should not be an issue at all. There's another port for me to assign. I'll just add it onto. I haven't built a single port this entire game apart from that naval base right at the beginning. All of these have come purely from conquering other nations. There's another military arms factory which I stopped building a while ago as well. Oh, let's have another look at the intel. Yeah, I don't care about robots, I want you to die. Okay. Better tanks, maybe that can do the trick. Okay, I have chosen to go for trucks over cars, as I'm relying on the tanks for my breakthrough, and if they actually do ever have to go on the defensive, then the trucks have better defense than cars. So I'm hoping that will make the difference. And I have no idea to what put these factories on. Let me just put them on to power armor. Just need to take that victory point there, and this one should be over as well. Yeah, I know there's no supplies in West Virginia because my supply planes are working elsewhere. Okay. Was that the Pitt? Oh! I don't know what happened. I completely missed it. Maybe I knocked down enough of their troops. I don't know. But the Pitt is gone. So Onionburg, you're on mine. And you know what? For putting up such a good fight, I'm going to puppet the Pitt. Ashur has done wonders with these raiders since Elder Lyons went through this place in a night, destroying everything. They will be my new puppet. That is absolutely magical. The first thing I'm going to do is start my justification for the Cult of Kobolds. 190 days, no problem there. And then I am going to give the Pitt Brotherhood dependency. I like that. Oh, Ashur's gone. That's disappointing. That's really disappointing. I'm going to give back all the equipment that I took from the Pit. It's going to take me a while to go through all this, so I'll do this off screen, but I'm going to send this all back to them to help them get their armies back up to speed, because something I've never understood is why if you puppet someone they lose their armies. I would understand if you conquered them outright, but just puppeting them, they should at least be able to keep half their troops. It would make things so much easier to get them back up to speed so they can actually help you in a war. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, after going through all of this and sending it off so they can get one delivery of all their stuff, I've actually decided to end this episode here. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. Please remember to subscribe if you would like to see more of my content, and I also have a Discord channel if you'd like to join that. In the next episode I will continue taking out the last of these nations here on the east coast, and if everything goes well, Elder Lyons' mission will be completed. But until then, again, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.